Hey, Janet, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I heard the big news from Dean. Are you really pregnant?
Hello, Lydia. Yes, it really is true. I was wondering when Dean was finally going to tell you. As of now, I'm about 3 months pregnant. I wasn't feeling good at all, so I went to the hospital and, well, I was quite surprised.
You mean you really had no idea at all that you were pregnant? I mean, didn't your period stop? Why didn't you think you might have been pregnant then?
Well, I've actually had a strange period all my life that's come and gone suddenly. So I just thought that it might have been acting up again, but I had no idea it was because I was really pregnant.
Oh, I see. So then you and Dean are going to be having a kid together. But you two weren't actually planning on having children this soon, isn't that right?
Well, yes, but we're just glad that we found out about this before we were knee-deep in wedding plans. So in a way, the timing really couldn't have been better. It was going to happen around this time.
But then that means that you're really going to be having this kid before the two of you are married, right? Are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, aren't you worried about what people might be saying about you two if you go through with this?
Do you really think that people will really care all that much? I mean, I just can't think of anyone I know who would be scandalized by something like this, really.
Well, you're so young now. So maybe that's why you don't really care or understand about this. But back in my day, something like this would cause quite the scandal in town and have all of the neighbors talking. It would really hamper one's reputation, you know?
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it is funny to think about how quickly times can change then, huh?
I just really think that you two should have done a better job of being careful and planning this out better, don't you? I mean, don't you think this is all happening too fast? You won't even have time to enjoy the honeymoon phase of your marriage. You'll be too busy with a baby.
Well, yes, we do realize that this is going to change a lot about what we planned on doing, but we're still very much excited to be parents.
Well, sure, I understand that. But being a parent isn't always an easy, happy thing, you know? I mean, you can pretty much kiss your free time goodbye. And if you two wanted to have any time to spend with just each other as a married couple, do any kind of traveling or anything like that, well, that's just not going to happen now.
Again, we both realize this means there are going to be things that we will have to put off, but we also do want to be parents too. And yes, this is earlier than we were expecting, but it doesn't change how happy we are to know this.
Well, if you two really feel that way about this, then I guess that I'm happy for you both. But I'm also just a bit worried, as you might understand. I mean, you know that being pregnant messes with your hormonal balance, don't you? You start getting hypersensitive and lots of things change in your body. I would just hate for all that to lead to fights when you two aren't even married yet. Are you sure you're going to be okay?
Well, I really do appreciate the concern, Lydia, but the fact of the matter is that we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But I know that Dean is aware of all of that and that we're both prepared to go through whatever it takes to have this baby safely.
I see. So then you're really sure that you're going to keep it? You're really going to go through with this pregnancy?
Well, I've already told you that we want to keep the baby, so I'm really not sure what other choice there would be but to have it.
I'm just saying that if you told me that you wanted to wait just a little bit longer to have a kid and put it off.
I see. Well, again, I do appreciate the concern, but I think that Dean and I are in agreement that we'll be having this one.
You wouldn't hear any complaints from me. I see. Well, that is your choice. I'm sorry if I overstepped my bounds with what I was saying just then. Just, please, make sure to take care of yourself. And if there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for checking in on me, Lydia. Anyways, I'm going to go now.
Hey there, Janet. I was just curious. Are you home right now?
Oh, hello, Lydia. No, I'm not at home right now. I'm actually at the hospital getting a checkup.
Oh, shoot. Are you really? And here I was going to pop in for a visit, but I guess my timing was off this time. Do you have any idea around what time you'll be coming home?
Well, I just got there to the hospital, so I still have to check in and all of that. I can't really give you an estimate right now.
Oh, okay. No problem. In that case, I'll just drop off my things in front of your door.
Oh, did you bring something for Dean and I?
I did, yes. I brought some meat that I thought you two could keep in the freezer for when you needed it.
Oh, I see. But if it's meat, it's probably not best to just leave it outside for a long time, don't you think?
Well then, what should I do with this? Do you just want me to take this back with me and go home?
Well, I'm sure that Dean would have no problem stopping by your place later to pick it up. I'm really sorry that you came all this way, but if you wouldn't mind taking the meat with you, I think that would be best.
I see. So you're going to ask Dean to go and pick up this meat from me on his way home from work then? You know, I feel like lately you've basically just been using him like an errand boy and sending him out whenever you need something. I hope you're not just using your pregnancy as an excuse to try and boss my son around.
Oh, I didn't know you felt that way. If that's the case, then I can go and pick up the meat myself when I'm done here.
No, don't bother with that. I'm going to go and do some shopping myself right now anyways. I won't be back home until the evening, so I'd imagine that you'd already be done then.
Oh, okay then. Well, if that's really the case, then why don't you just leave the meat by my door and I'll try and get back home as soon as I can.
So you want me to leave the meat on your doorknob after all? Well, okay, that's no problem. And there really is nothing to worry about. Back in my day, we didn't even have freezers and would just leave meat out like this for hours. It was fine. Besides, the weather's already getting cooler, so I think it'll be just fine.
Right. Well, I certainly hope that you're right about that. But Lydia, I just think that you should know that I don't spend all that much time at home, and Dean does a good job cooking for me. So if it's so much trouble for you to come all the way to our place to drop off food, I just want you to know that you really don't have to.
Oh, come on. Are you really trying to tell me not to worry about you? This is my first grandchild that we're talking about here. I mean, of course I always thought that it would be my eldest child who would be giving me my first grandchild, but life is complicated, as I'm sure you're aware.
Well, I really do appreciate just how much you've been doing for Dean and I, but our freezer is quite full as it is with all of the food that you've brought us so far, so I really don't think we'll need any more for a while.
Really? Well, okay then. If that's the case, I guess I can just stop bringing food around then. Is that okay?
Yes, we really appreciate all the help, but I think that would be best for now.
Well, I certainly hope that I wasn't being bothersome in bringing you both all of that food.
No, of course it wasn't any kind of bother at all. It's just that you've done such a good job that we can hardly keep up with eating it all. And I would just hate for you to keep going out of your way to get us food when we can't even finish it all.
Oh well, I didn't even realize that I was bringing you so much food to begin with.
Well, it's just that I think some of the food you've bought isn't exactly ideal for a pregnant woman.
I guess I just wasn't aware of how careful you were being about what you were eating. But anyway, you just let me know if you need more of anything. I want to do whatever I can to try and support you having a healthy baby.
Thank you so much for being so understanding about this, Lydia. We really do appreciate it.
Of course. By the way, I wanted to ask you how you felt about going hiking with me sometime soon. I was thinking that we can go up into the mountains and hunt for some mushrooms. I think it would be a great way to get out of the house and get some fresh air.
You want to go hiking with me soon? You know that I'm already 9 months pregnant, right? That baby is going to be coming any week now, really.
Oh, don't be silly. Back in my day, all the pregnant women never let that stop them from going out into the mountains. You know, my ancestors used to live at the foot of the mountains, actually. And I remember my mother being pregnant with my siblings and still going out to look for mushrooms and other wild vegetables.
I see. Well, I guess that I'm just a bit worried about going up and doing something like that when I'm already so big.
Oh, but there's nothing for you to worry about at all. You really just have to sit in the car and keep me company, you know? I just get a bit nervous going out to the mountains and doing this kind of picking by myself. It would just be nice to know that I have someone nearby in case anything happens. I mean, you may be pregnant, but us old people have plenty to worry about as well.
Well, okay, if you really mean that, I guess going along for the ride should be okay. But just know that I will have to make a lot of bathroom breaks given my condition. So I guess as long as we're not away for too long, then I suppose I would be okay with this.
Perfect. I'm so happy to hear it. I think the whole thing shouldn't take more than a couple of hours. And in the meantime, we'll go to get out in nature and out of the city.
Yeah, that might actually be nice now that you mention it. Okay then, I'm willing to go with you, but I really don't want to have to get out of the car while we're there. So if you can agree with me on that, then I think we have a deal.
Oh, of course, dear. You won't have to set out foot on the car if you don't want to. You have my word. I'll be in touch soon with more details, okay?
Hey, Lydia, where are you? I don't see the car anywhere. Did something happen? Please get back to me as soon as you can.
Oh dear, I've already gone back down the mountain.
Wait, what? I don't understand. You went down the mountain by yourself? Without me?
That's exactly what I did, dear. I mean, the sun is going to be setting soon. I couldn't spend all day up there. But if I were, I would start heading back down too. After all, you don't want to catch a cold.
You expect me to be able to get down the mountain by myself like this? I don't understand. What is going on here? Don't you know that I am pregnant right now?
Well, that's exactly why I left you up there. Don't you get that?
No, I don't get it. What on earth are you even talking about?
Well, the thing is that I've noticed you really have put on some weight during this pregnancy. And I just thought it might do you some good to get some exercise is all.
Lydia, I really don't know what to say, but you do realize I could be giving birth any day now, right? I thought I already told you that I wasn't feeling great physically and that that's why I didn't want to get out of the car. But you were the one who told me to go into the forest. You texted me that you had twisted your ankle, and that's why I got out of the car.
Oh, yes. Well, I suppose the little spill I took wasn't actually as bad as it looked. But anyways, you'll be fine. The mountain isn't that high up, and the nearest town is just a little walk away.
A little walk? Lydia, it's going to take me hours to get back down. Please, why are you doing this to me? You know that Dean is away on a business trip right now.
Well, I think it's perfect, really. Now you have no one willing to spoil you and obey your every command. You're going to have to figure this one out on your own.
I don't believe it. What is the matter with you? I thought that you were finally in support of Dean and I having this child. Although I thought it was strange that so many of the foods that you were bringing over were foods that pregnant women really shouldn't be eating. At first I didn't think anything of it, but now that you've done this, I don't think that you've ever really been in support of this baby at all.
What in the world are you talking about? Don't you realize that I'm doing all of this for you?
Making me walk down a dark mountain while pregnant is all for my sake? Do you really think I'm going to buy that?
Well, you're going to be giving birth soon. I just thought I would help you build up some muscle beforehand. You really are so quick to accuse everyone of being against you. Do you realize that? You should be more grateful to me. But how about you quit wasting daylight and get moving down the mountain instead?
Lydia, you and I need to have a little chat.
Oh my, Janet. Did you finally make it down the mountain?
Yes, I did, no thanks to you.
I see. I didn't actually think you'd be able to personally. And what about your baby? Was it okay? No problems with it on the way down?
As disappointed as you'll be to hear, there was no issue with the baby at all, and everything was safe.
Oh, come now. How can you say that? You can't honestly think I was hoping someone would be hurt by all of this. I'm telling you, I was just trying to give you a chance to get some exercise before you give birth is all.
I have tried being patient with you, but I have reached my limit. I never, ever want to see you again.
You never want to see me again? How can you say that to your own mother-in-law? What's the matter with you?
You don't get what the big deal is? Are you really going to pretend like what you did to me yesterday was for my benefit?
Okay, I really am sorry about yesterday, but you have to understand that I was really thinking of you, even if I overdid it.
You abandoned me at the top of that mountain because you hoped that the hike down would cause something to go wrong with my pregnancy, didn't you?
Of course not. How could you even say something like that? You don't really feel that way, do you?
I really didn't understand. I thought that I had done something to upset you or make you hate me. But this was never about me at all, was it? Your target was always my baby. You wanted something bad to happen to it.
Are you even reading what you're sending to me right now? You sound absolutely ridiculous.
But I want to know why you did this. Was it really because we were going to have a child before your eldest daughter? Because I thought that you knew her and her husband were undergoing fertility treatments right now.
Wait, what? How did you know that? Who did you hear that from?
I heard it from your own daughter, Lydia. In fact, she was the one who helped me get down the mountain last night.
I don't understand. Why would she help you get down the mountain? It doesn't make sense.
Are you kidding me? What doesn't make sense is why someone would leave a pregnant woman all alone on top of a dark mountain. But Dean reached out to his sister and asked her to come and help me get down. For some reason, I had enough cell phone service to keep texting you and my husband, and that was it. And when she did get up to get me, I was so grateful to her that I started crying and crying, and she started crying too and apologized to me about what you had done. In fact, she blamed herself and said she was sure it was because she couldn't get pregnant herself.
But that's not true. The two things having nothing to do with each other at all.
Then why did you do this to me? And why are you always messaging Tiffany demanding that she get pregnant? You took out your frustration with your daughter on me, and you couldn't stand the fact that I was pregnant first. Why couldn't you just be happy that you were getting a grandchild and leave it at that?
Now, let's just calm down. It's clear there's been some kind of mistake here. I've always had your best interest at heart.
Oh, please, you really think I believe that? You left me on top of a mountain to fend for myself. Well, now, Dean, Tiffany, and I all want nothing to do with you ever again. We are going to cut you out of our lives.
Now, wait just a second here. Let's not overreact here. I may have overdone it just a bit, but that's a bit drastic, don't you think?
Of course it's not drastic. You've been making all of our lives miserable and literally put mine in danger.
Okay, I screwed up. But you all can't just abandon me like this.
Nothing is ever going to allow me to forgive you for what you've done, Lydia. Your son and I have barely even been married, and you went and did this?
Please, I really am sorry. I didn't realize I was upsetting everyone so badly. I didn't know you all would react this way.
Just save it. Nothing you say is going to make us change our minds, and apologizing is not going to fix this. Now goodbye, and never ever try and interfere in Dean or my own life again, or else there will be consequences, got it? I won't be afraid to press charges for what you did to me. After that, Lydia began blowing up all of our phones, begging us not to leave her. But while we were all ignoring her, apparently even her own husband was considering divorcing her. Instead, he stuck with her in order to keep an eye on her. Ever since then, Lydia has been a homebody, only leaving the house to go out and do the shopping. Dean, Tiffany, and I kept our promise not to interact with her, and she never got to meet her first grandchild. It was sad to have things go the way they did with my mother-in-law, but I knew that my baby would never be safe around her. As you can infer, I had my baby and he was a healthy boy. I even got a letter congratulating me from Tiffany. It's painful when family hurts you, but it made me happy to know that I had other family around me whom I could count on. I only hope that one day, maybe years from now, Lydia will have finally calmed down to the point that I can finally introduce my son to her.